XRP is having a sensational day from a price point of view, and I'm here to tell you that this is just the beginning of something far more monumental. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing an overhaul of our entire financial system. We are looking at the dawn and the creation of the Internet of Value. And with that, there are going to be key players that play key roles. And I believe XRP is absolutely one of those key players that is going to play a key role in regards to the remittance, the transacting of value more broadly than just currencies globally. It is an extremely bright future XRP holders have ahead of them. Don't worry, we are going to cover price action. I've absolutely got you covered in this video. We'll be addressing the smaller time frame price action and the recent rally that we're getting on the back end of that falling wedge that we highlighted, that we said a breakout had been confirmed on, and that we were going to see an entire engulfing of the pullback that we've been witnessing since XRP ran into its all-time highs back at the start of this year, January 13th. So you're going to retrace this entire pullback and embark onto that higher ground that we've got technical merit for, taking you to $19.27. Our price prediction hasn't changed for XRP since it was in the sort of 30, 40 cents range, where we were doing the majority of our accumulation, along with an entire community. It wasn't just me. You guys were as well that watched the channel. I have a community of people. Check the link in the description if you want to join the community. Now's the best time, or there's really never been a better time to be in the cryptocurrency space. But our price prediction for XRP hasn't changed, and I still believe you're going to embark on that $19.27 journey. I'm going to be cashing out a good amount there. I'm going to be holding some because I actually think it could go above and beyond, certainly if it's to fulfill the role that I believe it's going to. So I want to save the more in-depth breakdown of price till the end of the video. What I want to do is start by highlighting the fact that XRP has never seen real-world use and utility in the manner that it's going to. And this has been circulating Twitter now, or X as it's now known, for a little while. And the title of it is, Tokenization is Here to Stay. It says, of the more than 1,700 financial leaders that took part in Ripple's recent global survey, 72% expect to explore tokenization in the next 3 years, solidifying the technology's place as a cornerstone of innovation. The benefits of blockchain can provide businesses the flexibility needed to capitalize on changing market conditions and access a more diverse set of asset classes. That was Larry Fink's, essentially the theme of Larry Fink's letter to investors. It was all about democratization through tokenization. There's negatives to that, but this is clearly the trend. And the interesting thing for me is the number that they cite there, 1,700. Now, 1,700 contracts and NDAs, agreements with Ripple by parties was revealed in regards to the lawsuit. And this is the extraction. In discovery, the parties produced over 1,700 contracts, which are specific agreements by which Ripple transferred XRP to contractual counterparties in a variety of commercial transactions. In his expert report, Schwartz, who we're going to talk about in a second, and why the usage and utility of XRP is going to be so significant. We're going to go all the way back to 2018 and look at a post of his. Schwartz organizes the 1,700 XRP contracts into 4 primary categories. So the reason I highlight this is you have hundreds, potentially thousands of institutions that are all looking to use and utilize XRP. And what's that going to do for its price? Well, I'm going to give you David Schwartz, ex-NSA, by the way, and we'll talk more broadly about the foundations of Ripple and XRP in just a second. But I'm going to give you his take on what's going to happen to XRP's price when we see real-world usage and utility. Let's dive into this, and let's go all the way back to 2018, where we tackled this question. If banks were to adopt Ripple, which means they would have to purchase XRP. So to adopt Ripple and XRP's technology, you need to own XRP. We've not seen anything yet. I couldn't be more bullish. Would they not want to keep the market price of XRP low if XRP is finite, i.e. cannot be mined? Then wouldn't that hinder mainstream adoption? His response, no. The price of XRP, you need to make a $1 million payment, will always be at least $1 million. So what he's saying there, just to really sort of simplify that, he's going to simplify it himself in more detail, is if you want to make $1 million payment, you want to send $1 million to someone, you need liquidity to do that in the form of XRPL and XRP. It's the bridge asset. So that XRP needs to be worth $1 million, essentially, the equivalent of the payment that you're trying to remit. Now, where it gets very scary is if you're talking trillions of dollars, potentially daily. The FX market does about $7 to $8 trillion a day, and XRP captures a good chunk of that. Well, where its price could go is, interesting. But we're not going to explore that. Let's just look at what David Schwartz has to say on this. The truth is precisely the opposite. Higher prices tend to correlate with higher liquidity, which means cheaper payments. Imagine if you wanted to use Bitcoin as an intermediary currency to buy a house worth $1 million back when Bitcoin was priced at $100. In the process of trying to buy enough Bitcoin to buy the house, you'd push the price up significantly. And when the recipient tried to convert those Bitcoin into their local currency, they'd push the price down significantly. The effects would be so bad that back then it would not have been practical to use Bitcoin to buy a house. Now, with Bitcoin over $10,000, remember this is all the way back in 2018, that's a niche. You can buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin without moving the market significantly because the price is higher, and so you need a smaller fraction of the available Bitcoin to do. So a higher priced asset is a better vehicle for payments, at least if you're targeting high value payments, which Ripple solely specialize in. XLM is the everyday remittance vehicle. XRP is the institutional vehicle for enabling all this and entirely revolutionizing the financial system. And there we have David Schwartz himself saying that for real world usage and utility, XRP's price should, to be practically implemented, be high. Potentially higher than $19.27, where of course we have it, which I think could just be a pit stop. I think if this technology, if XRP is truly going to play the role that I believe it's going to, $1 trillion market cap is small, potentially. But of course, that's just what I have technical merit for, and am going on until other evidence perhaps reveals itself. Talk about pricing in just a second. One thing I want to encourage everybody to do, nobody's made the link yet between who's actually behind or who were the early founders and investors of XRP or OpenCoin that then became Ripple, that the XRP ledger and the technology came out of. Nobody's worked out the fact that the PayPal mafia are entirely behind XRP. And I can show you a lot of, we're just looking at a CoinDesk article here from 2013. Meet the money behind Bitcoin competitor OpenCoin. Talks about Chris Larsen, Jed McCaleb, who went on to do his own thing, apparently over a disagreement. I think otherwise. But you've got Anderson Horowitz. You've got Ben Horowitz, Lightspeed Ventures, and the Founders Fund, whose partners include PayPal founder Peter Thiel. And Founders Fund has funded an unbelievable amount of successful technological companies, and they happen to be one of the sole investors in what became Ripple under Chris Larsen. I couldn't be more confident about what I'm saying right now and what I believe XRP is going to do. And of course, the beautiful thing is we've got technical merit for it. We've been using a 2-weekly chart, and we've been looking at this wedge from all the way down here when we were doing our heavy accumulation. This broke out, ran into all-time highs, very similar to what it did in the last bull market. Not the last bull market, 2017's bull market. Pulls back. It's very common that you do that in or around such a significant resistance level. And then it pulled back in the form of a falling wedge that's going to set up continuation. You're going to clear this prior high, and you're going to start to embark on that broader journey to $19.27. And I actually think you're going to see that within years. So I think it could even be this year. It's only a 700+% gain from where it currently is, but from where we're sat, it'd be a 37x, 30 to 40x, depending on where we got it in the space of a very short period of time. Life-changing money for even myself and everyone that's on board that journey. And we're very much tasting victory. We don't see too many XRP. I mean, anybody calling XRP a scam, I just don't even know what to say, you know. You've clearly not done any kind of due diligence or research. But what we did highlight, and we don't really want to mess around on the 4-hourly, was this falling wedge for XRP. This was your breakout point and your retest. You see how you come back and you kind of caress the capping resistance line, and then now you're embarking, and you're going to fully retrace this. You'll probably find a bit of resistance here, and then you're going to push onto higher grounds, which of course aligns with where our price target is. And the beautiful thing is fundamentally, you know, there's never been such or so many reasons to be bullish on XRP than there are today. Understand its unique role as being perhaps the rails upon which this internet of value is going to be enabled, certainly from a high value institutional point of view. I mean, I physically couldn't be more bullish given everything that I've looked at on XRP if I tried. And certainly technically it's the kind of creme de la creme for us. This has signaled a major move. The narrative is now coming after it. And what people are missing is the fact that we've never seen XRP's real world usage and utility. We're about to, and that would demand a high price. Like outlined there by David Schwartz. You know, when it walks, talks, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to get this out. XRP having a fantastic day. I'm here to tell you there's a lot more to come. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.